In the heart of the city where dreams come. In the heart of the city where dreams come alive. B-Up's on the mic with that fire in his eyes. From the court to the field, every game, every fight. He's the voice of the struggle under stadium lights. He's seen the highs and the lows, the wins and the pain. Every triumph and tear, every loss in the rain. Through it all he stands tall, never backs down. With a heart full of love for this sports loving town. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Every story, every glory, every promise we keep. From the love of the game to the struggles we face, he's the voice of the people in the sacred space. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep.
It's too much on my mind right now, baby, I don't need this. Lately I've been by myself right now, I cannot take no risk. Looking at my jewelry, you might think that I'm a lick. Yeah, these people wanna try me, cause they know I'm too legit, yeah.
Man, I'm sick of this. I know one thing. I'm sick of this family. You watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'm your host tonight. What's going on, Steve?
Everything going well, sir. Everything going well. Just got over a little storm down here in the DC area, Maryland area. So we just went over our head a little bit, and now we're getting back to normal. But it's back to you, B. Watts.
Okay. I hope everything turned out well for you. Hope everything turned out well. I'm happy, man.
Your internet is dragging, B. Watts. I'm telling you, it's dragging. But when you get back on here, you were talking the other day. You just get back on here and get that butt whooping that's coming to you, because the way you did Miss Phyllis yesterday, up there trying to convince her on that nonsense of all your point of views, where somebody told you something, what Greg said it and JR, and you just, oh, they changed my mind. Well, you're not gonna change mine. Ain't nothing you gonna say change my mind, because we are thinkers over here. We are thinkers and doers. And when you're a thinker and a doer, you can provide me feedback and you can provide me information. I'm gonna take that information and I'm gonna come up with my own point of view from it. And that's what you did, Miss Phyllis. And you did a fantastic job yesterday. Great job yesterday. Don't let them do you like that. And B. Watts think he's slick. He loved taking that volume and kicking people off when he wanted to try to get his point across, and then let the folks know, you saw how I won that. I won. You saw how I won that. Boy, he turned your volume off. and then delete you. And then next thing you know, oh, he pulled you back up on back. I'm gonna put you on backstage so I can talk. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. You just like the Justice Department. That's right. You just like the Justice Department. You make the rules and you break the rules. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's get a fight. Let's get a fair fight. Let's get the bare knuckles. Let's get it going. Come on, B-Watch. Let's get it going. How you doing, Miss Phyllis?
Hey, Uncle Steve. He tried it yesterday, Uncle Steve. He tried me.
You was skinning him. But in Mississippi, we say you skinning. You was skinning that head. It was like them rabbits. You get him, you that pull that fur off, you was skinning him. And he didn't know what to do, so he had to go and put you backstage. What gentleman does a lady like that? Gonna put her backstage behind him. I can't believe, B-Watch. I can't believe you were losing. And because you were losing the fight, you gonna go and do what other folks do. You gonna take your ball and you gonna go home. We don't do that here. Take your booty whooping like a man.
That's exactly what he did, Uncle Steve. That is exactly what he did. That's okay, though, Uncle Steve. I was ready for him, though. I was ready. And if he tried tonight, I'm going to be ready tonight, too.
Oh, he already did it. He did what 45 and 47 do. Oh, let me do a precursor. My internet, no, it's acting bad. It's really bad. The internet is really bad. It's messing with me bigly. It's bigly. The big bad internet. That's what he said. The big bad internet. The storm. You got a storm. It's called Miss Phyllis and Ump. We a storm. We hurricanes around here, and we coming to roll over you. Let's get this started, B-Watch. Quit that. Now, I know what you're doing. The stalling it ain't gonna go long. The booty whooping won't last long, partner. I got a stick, I got a extension cord, and I got a belt. Tell me which one you want. Which one you want it? Which one? Which one you want? I'm ready.
Yeah, he need a whooping too.
Yeah.
He need one.
Hey, Steve, can y'all hear me? I'm dragging.
We can hear you, sir. Yes, sir, we can. We can hear you. You're dragging, yes, sir. It just like your point of view, it drags, but let's keep it going.
Yeah, we're gonna work through it. We're gonna
work through it. You just hit us with a question, and we ready to knock the teeth out. Let's go.
Man, I hate this, man.
Well, why he getting that together, Uncle Steve?
All right. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Shedeur Sanders. He's in a quarterback battle that we know. Dragon.
Hey, B. Watts. I think what'll do better, Miss Phyllis, you need to give her the questions because hers ain't got no drag on it, and she can ask the questions, and we can flow that way. I think that'll be better because you're coming back and forth. You know, whoo! That's what happened when you retire. When you retire, your stuff retired too. So, B. Watts is gonna come back on. Let's start at this, Miss Phyllis. He just refused to understand Joe Flacco. He refused to understand this, Miss Phyllis. Let me throw some stuff at the people right now. Let's see what's going on in Cleveland. Everybody, I'm gonna start with this preface. People, I heard somebody today, two got them. You can call it, I call him 2, we'll call him 12. He has to be perfect. He has to go in there and he has to do everything the right way. Well, I asked y'all a question. Is Barry perfect when it comes to draft picks? Is Stefanski perfect when it comes to developing a quarterback? Is Barry's quality and draft picks meet par when it comes to the NFL? Does Stefanski, does he have a winning record? Does he have any championships under his belt? Does he have any quarterbacks that have ever won anything? Does he have a franchise quarterback under his belt and he's been there 5 years? So if the answer to all those questions is no, why does 12 got to be perfect when he's dealing with imperfect people and incompetent. So I'll start you there. See, I'll say stuff other people won't say. Other people won't say that. They want to beat around the bush. When I'm dealing with incompetence, why you expect me to be perfect? If you incompetent, you don't know what competence is. Yes, sir. We hear
you. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear. Yeah, we hear you now. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. What were you saying, Steve?
What I was saying was this one here. We're on here trying to debate what 12 should be doing. What's his position in the quarterback room? And my point of view is this. You have incompetence within the Cleveland leadership organization. And the reason I'm saying they're incompetent is this. Let me hit a couple scenarios and we'll go from there. Joe Flacco is not the future of the Cleveland Browns. If Joe Flacco comes in there, the first thing, he's not the future of the Cleveland Browns. That's strike one. Strike two is this one. If Joe Flacco coming in and wins 7 games, it defeats the purpose. Now you don't have a top 10 pick. You fall at the top 10 pick, so you screw yourself there too. So that's another L. You don't get a top draft pick. Then you turn around with Joe Flacco. It prevents the quarterbacks, the rookies that you have from playing. So in baseball, that's 3 strikes. You're out. Let's go with Kenneth. Let's go with Little Fingers. Little Fingers is an average quarterback, and that's fine. That's backup quarterback. That's the first thing. That's the first strike. He's average. He ain't going his level. He ain't going higher than his level right now. He's right where he's going to be. He's going to be a good He can be a decent quarterback that can win you a few games, that could get you to 500 at best. 500, because I'm going on his record. I ain't going on anything. I'm going on his record. He's 15-14 or something like that. Just a lip, or he just barely 500. That's the first thing. The second thing is the salary cap. Cleveland if he was 13-1, if he was 13-3 or 13-4, you still can't sign him because you got to turn around and say, hey, you don't have the money to do it. So why are you wasting time with a quarterback that even if he won 8 or 9 games, again, if he won 8 or 9 games, he screw you because it knocks you out of the draft picks to get a lottery pick, basically. And then the second thing, you can't pay him. And if you can't pay him and he's not a franchise quarterback, why are you wasting time? Now let's go there. That's 3 strikes when you're dealing with Kenny Pickett. Little Fingers. Now you got 2 rookies. The way you should go, the way that Tennessee is doing, the way that New Orleans is doing, you get that rookie, you get a strong running game, and you do play action, you do simple plays, you play all your young players. This is the time the owner should tell them this here. I want every young player we have on this team playing. I want to see whether or not you can coach, number one, Stefanski. Now you can determine if he can coach. I want to see those young players develop. That's the first thing. The second thing I'll tell them is this one here. I want to see if the general manager picked the right players, because those players that he picked should be talented enough, because as high as they pick, they should be very productive. So I could grade as an owner on both of those qualifications. And then it's a win-win for me, because now I can determine who's the future of the Cleveland Browns, who I need to trade, who I need to cut, because next year and the year after this, the years we're looking at going to make the playoffs. And then I can make a determination to clear my salary cap out. With that, if you do it the way I'm talking about, I get to clear my salary cap out. I get to play my young players and develop them so that when it's championship time, they'll have 3 years, 2 or 3 years under their belt of playing and working on their profession. So that's the way I look at it. But it's back to you, B. Watson, Miss Phyllis. Miss Phyllis, educate us.
Well, thank you, Uncle Steve. Because I tried to tell B. Watts yesterday that they was incompetent. Yesterday. But he wasn't listening to me. They're going to have to do something. And I hope they're not trying to get a quarterback in this upcoming draft. And like you said, they're not going to even have the money to draft a top quarterback. Like, what was the point of drafting 2 quarterbacks not develop and see what they made of? This is why they're in the position that they in now. And they're going to continue to be in this position until they buckle down. All those draft picks that they get draft, that could have went towards their defense and offense and building around which the quarterback 12 for the future. And instead of playing these games back and forth. And I'm sorry, like you said, Steve, what has Stefanski did? What have him and Andrew done that they in the position to try to chastise 12 on what he need to be doing? We didn't already see fruit from their labor, and it ain't been no good fruit at all. None. We seen Shedeur's fruit, and it looked like he been producing some pretty good fruit. So I'm just over this mess, and it even shows that they're incompetent too, that we don't even know who's going in to be the quarterback. At this time, teams already know who they going with. They put all they in that basket, and they're building around that. Nobody knows anything this team. So I guess we're gonna go with playing all four quarterbacks like they've been doing. That's the remedy to the problem. Is we finna play all four quarterbacks, huh? That just doesn't make any sense. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think they need to play Flacco or Kenny Pickett. If it was up to me, throw the rookies in there so you can see. Let them bump their head, let them get out there. Like the experience, that's all you got. But how are they gonna get experience? They can't. It's not gonna happen. So, Uncle Steve, I told B Watts, I got my pen. I already signed they pink slips. It's already signed and ready. Because I'm not dealing with that foolery with them this year.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I agree 100% with y'all saying. The Cleveland Browns need to have a plan. They should have been had a plan when they went into the draft, but it looked like they don't have no plans. No way. There is not enough reps in training camp for each quarterback they have on the roster. They need to identify two quarterbacks, a starter and a backup quarterback, and get them the number of reps to prepare them for the regular season. Like you said, Uncle Steve, playing Joe Flacco is a waste of time. Waste of time. They going off 2 years ago. You're not going to be able to duplicate what he did 2 years ago. And it don't make sense because he's not your future. This probably his last year. And when you look at Kenny Pickett, they declined his 5th-year option back in April or May. So what that tells you, he's not the future. So you need to go in with Kenny Pickett and Shedeur Sanders to see if they're your franchise quarterback. And I'm telling you right now, from what I done seen in college, from what I done seen in rookie minicamp, from what I done seen in OTAs and mandatory camp, is training camp is Shedeur Sanders is that dog. He's him. They know that. Whether they want to tell the media or tell us, I don't know why you don't want the fans to know. Are you trying to save face that you messed up in the draft? And Kevin Stefanski supposed to be a quarterback guru from what people are saying. Kevin Stefanski was the NFL Coach of the Year in 2023. But what have he done? If you telling Shedeur need to come in and earn his spot and do the things he need to do, what the hell are y'all gonna do? When y'all gonna show us what y'all gonna do? When are y'all Kevin Stefanski? They don't change offensive coaches. I get that part. They don't change some of the defensive coaches. I get that part. But still, you should have a plan, especially at that quarterback position. Steve, you know football. I'm sure you know football too, Miss Phyllis, and the people in the chat. If you playing football in college, little league, high school, in the pro, you can't win without a franchise quarterback or your team #1 quarterback. You can't win. It starts with the quarterback. They should see if Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders can be your franchise quarterback. I hear the fuss out there about their quarterback is in next year draft. Man, that's for clickbait. I ain't got time to get in no discussion like that. They know they wasted 2 drafts right here during this draft, 2 picks in this draft. They got to see what Shedeur can do. And I believe they gonna do that. I think they're just trying to keep down that hoopla, like Ocho Seco said. They trying to keep down the hoopla around Shedeur Sanders because they want Dylan Gabriel to get a quote unquote fair chance because Kevin Stefanski believed in him. That was his guy. That was his guy. I don't think they wanted Shedeur. I think the owner wanted Shedeur. But at the end, Shedeur finna get ready to crash that party on Steve. He just finna show up.
Hey, B. Watts, I got a question for you. Who makes the determination of who's these quarterbacks coming up are better than 2? Because my question is this: these are the same quarterbacks who were there last year,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken. These are the same quarterbacks, Levis and the boy from Clemson, and you got the boy from Arizona State, and you got the boy from LSU. They didn't win the Johnny Unitas Award. They didn't win the O'Brien Award last time I checked.
Right.
See, you're telling me now if you telling me they got the, I call it the DEI, but it's YEI. If you telling me that, then that's something else. Because what I'm telling you is this here: they don't have no credentials.
No.
You look at it; they ain't got no credentials. They ain't won nothing. And with these quarterbacks, what I'll tell you is this: they've never been challenged. These quarterbacks are dealing with 5 stars. Their teams are loaded. You're dealing with loaded teams. And I'll put it to you this way: that Manning boy, if he couldn't start over Ewers, what are we talking about? They started him on the bench for 2 years. And then when they did put him out there, he's going to be fine as far as a quarterback. But what I will tell you, the time that he has, he back there saying, man, you're playing with Texas.
Yeah, I know.
You're playing with Texas. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So with that being said, if you're telling me Stefanski and them can tell you who's a good quarterback, then my question is this one here: why did those idiots pick a quarterback at all instead of getting good players, instead of getting receivers and offensive linemen with those draft picks? Why did they pick quarterbacks if they're telling me the quarterbacks next year is the ones that they want? So what you're telling me, you not only are you incompetent, you're just plain stupid now. Because I done gave up draft picks when I'm thinking, oh, the ones that could really play, wink, wink. The ones that look like me, wink, wink. The ones that make me feel comfortable, wink, wink, is next year. You ain't telling me the ones that's going to win, because the ones that are going to win, last time I checked, they look like me. That's why I looked at the league. I'm like, hey, them brothers doing their thing at quarterback. But I'm just doing Burrow's doing this thing and stuff like that, so it ain't a color thing. But what I'm saying is this one here. They need to stop this mess, man, because they have not proven, because they've been there 5 years. And in that 5 years, they pick quarterbacks. Have they hit on a quarterback? Have they hit on a receiver?
Nope.
So what are we talking about? They can't pick nothing. Only thing they can pick is their nose. And that ain't too good. So all I'm telling you is this, B. Watts. I'm not hearing nothing they got to say. Tell me your game plan. I want to know what Cleveland's game plan is, because putting Pickett out there makes no sense, because even if he's successful, you don't have money to pay him. So what's the solution? And if he is successful, you take you out the draft picks. It makes you a pick higher. So what sense does that make? And then you turn around, and this is what I love. You had the whole year to evaluate Shedeur Sanders. You really had 2 years to evaluate Shedeur Sanders. Then you turn around, you get him in your building, and you still can't tell me that he's a franchise quarterback, him and your boy Dylan, and you got him in your building. But San Francisco got Purdy, who was the last person in the draft, and they gave up 3 first-round picks for Lance.
Yeah.
And they turned around, and that owner, coach knew instantly, this boy here can put that ball where I want to put it. This boy here can't hit a barnyard. And they got rid of him and kept the one. That's making decisions. They made the wrong picks, but they corrected it and kept moving. Cleveland can't do that. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. You're right. That's a perfect example. When I look at Miss Phillips, when you just look at the room, just look at the room, just look at the room. Neither one of those quarterbacks can start on any NFL team other than Shedeur. If we just be honest about it. Not that saying because he came from Colorado, he's a Sanders, and we've been following them. If you just look on the field at they play so far, Kenny Pickett couldn't start for nobody right now. He don't have his opportunity. Joe Flacco is too old. They don't want Joe Flacco. No team want Joe Flacco. If they did, he wouldn't have been sitting on that sofa when Cleveland Brown called to him. So you turn to Dylan Gabriel. He may be successful, but he got to have all the pieces. By him being so short and can't seal the line of scrimmage, it's going to be hard for that team to galvanize around him. But with Shedeur, they don't see Shedeur. He battle tested Jackson State, Colorado. He don't play with a poor offensive line and still stood up in that paint and delivered that football. So I'm asking you, Miss Phyllis, when it comes down to the nitty gritty in this training camp, do they really need to see what Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco can do for them? Do they really need to see that?
No. See how simple that is? We ain't even got to go around in no circle.
Yeah. She just said no. We ain't got to discuss. We ain't up for discuss. Stop wasting my time. Be what don't even answer me that. I'm gonna tell you, I'm the Andrew Berry. No. Like Steve said, San Francisco said, hey man, this dude can't hit a bar, man. Yeah, but listen though, we traded man, who gonna kill us? The outside noise or the owner? We don't told the owner. He the one who writing the check. Owner, we messed up. We finna move on to 199 quarterback. Okay, y'all go ahead. That's all you gotta do. Get out in front of it and tell your fan base what you did, what's the plan, and move forward. And make it so bad, Steve and Phyllis in the chat. Andrew Berry ain't no dumb dude. That brother got some sense. I think he went to Princeton or Harvard somewhere. He got a highly educated background.
Be wise. That don't mean nothing. I graduated from DePaul. What does that mean? I don't care how many books.
I'm just saying he ain't crazy. I'm just saying he ain't crazy. He know how to handle stuff.
No. If he knew how to handle stuff, Be wise, we wouldn't be in the position that we in currently or even before. So he has not been putting up nothing good. He's been putting up goose eggs.
I'm trying to give the brother a
no.
See, I'm trying to give the brother. He's still a brother. We can't kill him like that.
No.
But look though, check this out. Check this out, Miss Philly. Come on back with me, Steve. I got a question for y'all. This is a real question. Going into training camp. How is Shedeur? He going up against a tough challenge, man. He going up against some tough, because you don't know they plan. Kevin Stefanski ain't told nobody nothing. Going into training camp, what's the percentage you think that Shedeur can at least be quarterback number 2 coming out of training camp?
So do you want me to give you my educated answer?
I mean, whatever. I mean, give me I don't know educated. I want you to be real.
Okay.
What's the chance?
Okay, well.
Dealing with what the circumstance that he's dealing with the front office, dealing with the coaching staff, dealing with that quarterback room. What's a real percentage to our people who listen to us, who want answers? And since Cleveland Brown won't give us answers, let's give them our answer. What's a realistic percentage that he at least can be the quarterback number 2 going into the regular season. FD said 65%.
Okay, so for my answer is it's kind of hard to answer that because I feel like there are too many variables that's going on to just say, oh, this percentage, because we have to factor in they didn't want Shedeur. Let's not forget. Let's not forget that Stefanski didn't want Shedeur, so that's already a problem when you're in a quarterback that did not really want you. But if that owner got anything to do with it, then I'll go with 65% as far as if he gon' put the gavel down and said, no, this is what we doing. But if I had to just go with the fans, I think they want to like they knew what they were talking about and they gonna ride out what they want. So that's the variable in my opinion. What about you, Uncle Steve?
You nailed it, and you nailed it with those variables. And I'll put it this way: with those idiots, I'm putting 10% because they're going to hell with their draws with gasoline on it and fire. They gonna put fire on their draws. They gonna light it up and they going straight to hell with it because they gonna that decision they made. They are gonna go to the end with that decision. So as far as
Wow.
I'm concerned, and what I've seen, they're gonna. It reminds me of somebody I listen to every day. They stick with their lie, and that's what they do well. We're gonna stick with this lie to the end, and that's what they're gonna do instead of doing the right thing. Back to you, B. Watts. I'm gonna do a Miss Phyllis. I'm gonna make it quicker to the front.
God,
That's what they
dog.
do.
Oh, hell no. Well, I messed up and brought me Phillies on here to turn Steve out. It ain't gonna take long, B. Watts. It's gonna be a quick show, y'all. You might not get no hour tonight. You might just get 40 minutes because they ain't pulling no punches. They ain't got time for no gospel. They bringing you that smoke tonight. Yeah, 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 yeah. JR,
We
stay
gonna
on
get
vacation if you want to,
we
JR. JR Boxing, stay on vacation. JR Boxing, stay on vacation. You got somebody down there in your seat, boy. All right. Okay.
we just ain't spend no hour on that foolery. We gonna
Yeah. Okay, let me come at you like this then. I can't go to Steve. No, I didn't. Let's see. If I go to you, you gonna split. Oh man, I'm just messed up tonight. But here we go. If you had to start one quarterback, Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett, so you can bridge Shedeur Sanders, which quarterback out of those two would you start? Would you go off experience with Joe Flacco, or if Kenny Pickett plays well in training camp and preseason, and he show you he can be a competent quarterback, will you still go with him, who the person you traded a 5th-round draft pick with, or with you go with Joe Flacco, who been with you and know your offense, but didn't play that well in preseason, but he know the offense and he was there with you in 2023. Experience or Kenny Pickett to start the season off with game 1, other than a rookie?
You want me to go first, or Steve want to take this
Yeah,
first?
lady first.
And I'm gonna say it again. We thought about this already. I'm going with Flacco. Let me just say this. We can say all we want about Flacco. Yeah, I'm older. Yes, I can't move as fast as I can, but that don't mean my knowledge in my head is gone, or all the years of experience I have gone. I may physically can't get it done like that anymore, but that don't mean I don't got the knowledge. And I feel like we talking about Joe Flacco and how old he is, but I think Shedeur will benefit far more with him because Flacco have seen far more than Kenny Pickett have seen. Matter of fact, Kenny Pickett can learn from Flacco too. So let's not degrade Flacco just because he got old. That ain't got nothing to do with his years of experience or his knowledge that he brings to this game. And Kenny have it. Now, I'm going with Flacco. I ain't going with Kenny. And I'm sorry, them little hands, I just can't do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
All right, Steve. Before you go though, Steve, here we go right here. I'm with Herm Edwards. There's a lot of fans out there living off 2 years ago, and they think that he's going to be way better than he actually is. That's Joe Flacco. That's what they were saying about Joe Flacco. My bad. I ain't mean to put that one up. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, you got to realize this one here. When Herm put that up, because Herm is under the impression that he would be starting the rookies. So that's why he said that, made the comment about Joe Flacco. That wasn't in relations with Kenny Pickett. Herm said himself, because I heard him on the JB show, he would be starting both rookies and keep it moving, because he got to find out what he already knows what he's going to get out of everybody else, but he don't know what he's going to get out those rookies. They could have a higher ceiling than what Flacco and Pickett. That's why he made that comment. The next thing is this one here. The reason I would go with Flacco is this. I don't want to lose the locker room. Those players in there believe in Flacco because Flacco took them to the playoffs 2 years ago. So they believe in Flacco and they trust him. So you don't want to lose they do not trust Kenny Pickett. I'm telling you that now. They have played, you do know that they played Pittsburgh when Kenny Pickett was there, and they whooped his head when he was there. So that's no threat. The next thing the reason why Flacco is this, B-Watch, he ain't going to play number 5 games. And when he play his 5 games, now I put my rookies in and we go from there. So it's a win-win. I've appeased my veteran players to say, hey, we're going out to try to win with Flacco. I've appeased them. Flacco going to get jacked up in these first 5 games, and they're going to be losing. So it's time to sit old Joe down. You sit Joe down. Joe got to go. He got to go in that thing in the medical tent. And the medical tent will be ready for him. Because as soon as you touch Joe going to get his disability check and sit his butt down. That's what you do. Joe needs his disability check. And when Joe gets his disability check before probably game 3, now it's time to put your rookies in and evaluate. If you put Pickett in there, Pickett will stand there with both of his fingers dangling because he don't want to come out. You don't know his fingers dangling because he got 4 gloves on now. He had 2. He going to put 2 more on there. Pickett ain't coming out. You'd have to kill Pickett to get him out the game because, he's fighting for his career. So I wouldn't even worry about Pickett. I wouldn't want him in there. Pickett needs to be traded. He's good. Trade him. The Miami Dolphins or whoever. Get him out of there and go. But all I'm saying is this one here. Flacco, to keep the team, the veterans, he won't play no more than 5 games at most. Then you can get your rookies in for the rest of the 12 games if you want to do 6-6. But the problem is this. Once you get 12 in the game and you use a strong running game and you use the 2 tight ends and you're doing play action, it's going to be hard to get them out. It's going to be hard. And the only thing I would tell 12 is this. Don't be cute trying to take them shots. Get rid of the football. Because if you get hurt, you're done for that thing because they're going to hold that against you. Get rid of that football and don't take them shots because they're trying to take your head loose in the NFL. It ain't like they're taking your head loose. So don't take those shots. Get rid of the ball. Your percentage can be 70. We're fine with that. We still would be the highest in the NFL. But my point being, get rid of that football. So we don't want you to take those shots. Back to you, B-Watts.
Yeah, but I got to go with Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry. I'm trading. I'm cutting Joe Flacco before even training camp even start. I ain't got time to fool with Joe Flacco. Too old, can't move, like Greg said and JR said. He might have a strong arm, but one of them 25 years old and 28 years old, get out to Joe Flacco. He ain't gonna be able to move. It's just too many people out there saying it. I heard ESPN Cleveland did a poll. I saw they poll. Joe Flacco. People are still living out 2 years ago of Joe Flacco. We don't want that. Even the fans voted in and said they don't want to see no Joe Flacco. And I'm with them. I don't want to say if they going to start anybody other than Shedeur, let it be Kenny Pickett. That's just me.
What is Pickett going to do for you?
I mean, like the Sarah note that I gave, if he do good and show me he did good in the training camp and in the preseason game, let him start them 3 games off and then turn it over to Shedeur to get it to the point where Shedeur is ready. Now, if Shedeur know that playbook, we gain 1. I ain't no doubt we gain 1. But when it comes down to Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, B. Watts is choosing Kenny Pickett.
Do you think Cam Ward is going to know the entire playbook for the Tennessee Titans?
Oh no, they gonna go to whatever he knows.
Wow. So you would do the same thing. So that's my point. That boy from New Orleans ain't gonna know. Bo Nix does not know the whole playbook for New Orleans for Denver. For Denver, and I'll tell you why.
But they situation different though. They ain't got no 4 quarterbacks on their team right now. They don't identify them as the starting quarterback. Cleveland ain't done that.
The situation ain't different. You just got incompetent leadership. If you had competent leadership, you could straighten all that out.
That's the same thing I'm saying. They haven't identified their quarterback. Same thing I'm saying. They coaches and general manager hasn't identified their starting quarterback. To us, they might have not did it on the in-house. They haven't came out publicly and said the things that been reported. Matter of fact, when we hear those terms that they looking for another quarterback in next year's draft, the general manager ain't said that. The head coach ain't said that. It's people on the outside who making the noise saying that. And that's why I haven't repeated that because haven't did a show on that because they going off clickbait stuff from Mary Kay, Tony G. The general manager, the head coach, nobody in the building, inside the building, have said it or put it out in their own mouth. They're looking for a quarterback in 2026. For as we know, they could already done said it. Shedeur our quarterback. We just ain't gonna tell them.
Can I say something to that? Be watched.
You surely can.
First of all, I got a couple little things to say. First and foremost, I don't want to hear nothing about the fan base, okay? Because they schizo at this point, okay? They don't know if they coming or going. You not even on board with Shedeur. I haven't seen them be on board with none of these quarterbacks really. So I'm not even taking what they say at this point in time. And I know probably a lot of it is like Bush and them said before. You know, they've been losing a long time. So naturally their brain is defaulting to that. Okay. Now moving along. With Shedeur, with Kenny Pickett, I just don't see why would you be starting Kenny Pickett? And if we want to be technical about it, Kenny Pickett, y'all traded for a 5th round pick for him. So he in the same boat with Shedeur. So why should he get a little more leverage than Shedeur? If they both is 5th round, as Mary Kay like to put it all the time, 5th round pick. 5th round pick. They traded for him for a 5th round. So there is no difference to me. And I forget his name, but he said, if it's even, I'm starting the rookie.
Oh, that's true. I go with that. But I'm saying if you had to pick between Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett, I left the rookies out.
I'm going with Joe Flacco. You know, I'm just going with Joe Flacco, and then everybody that's sitting here talking about, they gonna go with Kenny Pickett. Don't worry, next week or the week after, they're gonna be saying something different. And as far as if we don't know, the camp haven't said anything about them getting another quarterback. Let's just be honest. They've been put a whole lot of stuff out prior to the draft talking about Shedeur, and it come out to find out that that's exactly what happened to Shedeur, ain't it? So I'm not going to sit here and say that everything that's being said is just a lie. Now, they may have mixed some stuff in there for views and stuff, but some of that probably got some legs to it. And I got my good eye on it, and they ain't finna trick me and that foolery. I'm just saying, Uncle Steve, I'm not gonna pull nose over my eyes. My eyes is wide open.
Girl, you got some good eyes. You like a teardrop.
Training camp and preseason gonna tell it all. We gonna know when training camp start and then preseason start. They ain't gonna have to tell us that. We gonna see for ourselves what's been going on behind the scenes, and it's gonna reveal itself. It's gonna reveal itself.
B-Watch, I'll put it to you this way. They can put 12 in a predicament by putting them with certain players that aren't going to make the team that could really impact how he looks. Because I give you an example. You put him with some tackles and some guards that's not going to make the team, and you're playing against another team like Philadelphia. You're playing against Philadelphia, who their second and third string are starters.
Right.
They're coming through their lights out, lighting your quarterback up, and you're like, man, what's wrong with this? It ain't the quarterback. It's your products beside him. So
Right.
we have to be careful on, because they could set him up for failure easily. And I'm watching for it. I'm watching on who he's going to have out there with him. What kind of plays are they running? I'm looking at all those things because I want it to be, because they'll do Dylan, and they're going to roll Dylan. They're going to roll Dylan to they'll roll him to the left. They'll roll him to the left. That's the strongest, so he can throw the ball. Watch that. They won't sit him straight back in the pocket because he's not that tall, because he won't have a clear view. You roll short quarterbacks and get them in spaces. You want to get them in lanes where they can throw the ball. I want to see if they're going to do that for Shedeur with play action. It's because this is what I'll tell you is this one here. As accurate as that young man is, if you're any kind of coach, when you got somebody who can throw 75% and you can call plays, man, that's the easiest job in the world.
Right.
All I need to do is dial it up, make it simple, hit him with plays, keep him where he's comfortable back there, and the rest is history. But back to you, B-Wise.
Yeah, they got a good team, Steve. I like that. Them two tight ends they got, Finney and Janoka. Well, his last name. It man, them boys some dogs. Then they got them two big time regular running back. They already had one running back that was pretty good, so they got three good running backs, and that's why I said this morning, Cleveland should take advantage of Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel while they on them rookies contracts, so they can go in the next year's draft and build that offensive line and that defensive line for the next 2 or 3 years. By the time Shedeur get to that 4th year, they'll all be playing in the AFC Championship back then. You know, that's the same thing Jimmy Johnson did. Jimmy Johnson did it with the Dallas Cowboys when he drafted Troy Aikman. Man, he said, the hell with Herschel Walker. Y'all can have him. Give me 8 picks. And he built a dynasty. And that's why, man, get Joe Flacco out of there. Quit wasting y'all time.
But B-Watch, what you got, Cleveland should be bullying up them quarterbacks for next year. Cleveland should be raising them to the roof because it's an advantage for them. Because what they should be doing, we're going to go out and say, oh, we're doing these quarterbacks. We're looking at them. We're looking at them. We're looking at them. So as soon as you get a high draft pick, you trade it. You go and fleece a team and get all of their draft picks because they going to come and say, well, we want a quarterback. We'll give you 3 first-round picks. Now you've added to your chess. Man, this is chess, not checkers. You got to be smarter than the average bear. But with that being said, B-Watch, you saying those 3 good running backs, but when you're on the 4th string, you're not going to have them with you. You're going to have a running back that just got back from boot camp, and he's back there running, and then he got to go back. So all I'm telling you is I want to see them where they are making sure they're putting some competent people out there with 12 and making sure 12 has an opportunity to showcase. But I'll put it to you this way, B-Watch. If Cleveland's stupid enough, and where they are stupid enough. I ain't saying the people of Cleveland because they're fantastic. I'm talking about their leadership. I'm talking about S and B, and that ain't Super Bowl. Stefanski and Berry. What I'm telling you is this one here. 12 got enough tape now for the NFL. He got enough tape. Philadelphia kicking themselves right now because he should be with the Philadelphia Eagles because they came up and took him right out of Philadelphia. I know they're kicking themselves because Philadelphia be like, hey, that could have set our organization up for the next 20 years or 15 years to get 12 because you'd have had your Super Bowl quarterback for the next few years. Then when he come around again for a max contract, you like, nah, dog, you 30-some years old. We ain't paying, $500 million. We got 12 sitting right here in his 3rd year. Boom. And we still going Super Bowls. It just made 2 cents. Back to you, B-Wise.
Man, Phyllis ain't saying nothing. We got to get her in.
See, all that is on point. I'm just still concerned with some things because while Mary Kay and them all reporting the news and seem to feel like they know everything. Why can't they tell us what was the plan for Shedeur? And if you're saying he has to earn it, then why is it that why ain't hearing Kenny Pickett and the other ones got to earn it? Why is always Shedeur got to earn it?
Because he was a 5th-round draft pick in their book.
Well, Kenny Pickett, if you want to be technical about it, Kenny Pickett, you didn't had enough chances to earn it. You haven't earned anything.
But they ain't how they looking at it. Y'all got to look at it how they looking at it.
No,
they not looking at it how we looking at it. They're not doing that. Y'all know that. They not looking at it like that. They looking at it like they traded Kenny Pickett. They identify Kenny Pickett. They identified Kenny Pickett. They did that.
But I'm simply
Time out. Give me a timeout. Let me stop you. Everybody who played in the NFL and everybody who talks about the NFL, the first thing they tell you it's your body of work. It ain't nothing about you giving somebody something. It's your body of work, because you have to tighten them bootstraps up, your cleats, and you have to get out there and perform. They tell you that all the time. That first pick and all that, that's cute. That's for your money. Those picks are for your money. Those draft picks determine what kind of money you get. That don't determine where you're going to get on the field. Because if you're garbage, it don't make a difference. You're the first pick. You had Russell. You had Jamarcus Russell. He was the first pick in the draft. So I'm tired of people talking about, you had Mitch Trubisky. He was the second pick in the draft. Chicago came up and gave away 2 first-round picks for Mitch Trubisky. Have you heard of him anymore? No. Have you heard of Jamarcus Russell? No. Have you heard of your boy who was with the San Diego Chargers, who was the quarterback who was there with Peyton Manning? No. My point is this: stop with all of that. And you even had your boy Lift Fingers. He was a 28th pick in the draft and ain't nothing. Cut with all them draft picks. Draft picks mean nothing. That means that you had incompetent leadership who picked the wrong ones. You had Patrick Mahomes, which was the 11th pick, and look what he is, 3 Super Bowl winning. You had Tom Brady, who was the 6th-round pick. So I don't want to hear it. A pick is a pick.
I understand that, but they ain't how the NFL operated. You know that. They go by, well, no. Time out on you. Time out, Uncle Steve. Let me get into this. Listen, we know Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback on the team. I know that. But that's not how it operates when you're going into training camp. Somebody must go first with the #1 team offense. Yeah. They must identify that. They got to identify that. Whether it's Kenny Pickett, whether it's Joe Flacco, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur, somebody, it's a pecking order. They got to go into that training camp. Training camp gonna tell everything we need to know about that quarterback position. If they're given the number of reps that they need to be successful. That's how I go with that quarterback position. If they believe Shedeur is the guy, from what G. Bush done told me, he think Shedeur Sanders gonna go in this training camp as the #2 quarterback. Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett are fighting for the #3, and which one of them lose, they gonna get rid of. Now, that's what he told me. So I'm just gonna sit back and watch how training camp start off and how it ends. But the key factor of it all is when they scrimmage Philadelphia. Which one of them quarterbacks can stand up against Philadelphia defense and be successful? Because from what I done seen and what I heard, them scrimmage games is more important than the preseason game. They come out. So they gonna be trying to put Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders up in that medical team. Because they trying to make the team too. So that's what I'm saying to play. I understand Mary Kay, and I understand Tony Grossman and some of the other content creators, what they trying to do. I get that. But when it come down to it, it's gonna show his head before training camp. Before preseason in them scrimmage games.
But what I'm simply saying is this: all of this sounds good. That would be ideal if that's what's going to transpire. That would be ideal. But let's just be honest. Out of all the teams, all 32 teams, Why is it this complicated? There's no reason we should be having to go through all these different back roads, up the hill, down the hill.
Because they haven't told us nothing. They don't want us to know.
But what I'm saying is, it's already that you're operating like this, and you wonder why you have the reputation that you have. You earned this reputation. There is no need for us to be getting ready to go into these scrimmages and all of this stuff, and we don't know anything. All the other 31 teams, they already know what they got. They know what they're going with. They're getting their people prep, and we just sitting here like we don't know. We trying to use our brain power to figure out what these incompetent people are doing. Now, see, y'all done made me go to my boss mode now, because this is just, it's just that's my biggest thing, with that. And then I feel like, I'm sorry, people egos get in the way, and they pride get in the way. So how do we know that instead of them making the right decision based on who's better, that they won't let their pride, so they don't look bad, come into play and do what's right, when we already know they didn't want Shedeur? Even if he's the best player, how can we be certain that they are going to play the best player? Or are they going to try to just stick to what they picked? See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm telling you, B-Watts, I'm going to send you the eye emoji. Wait till they get it. When they get into camp and everything gets to going, and I see all the foolery that I think still coming, I'm sending you the eye emoji. I'm just going to send you a text message. Emojis. That's it.
See, you keep trying to punish Cleveland Brown. Then nobody else wants to do it.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that. That's fine and dandy, but let's not get into it. This is just me speaking my opinion. This is not nothing that 12 said. You're not doing 12 no favor, like, oh, because you picked him. If you felt like that, then you should have just not picked him at all. If that's the stance you're going to take. You should have went with the rest of the 31 teams and just not picked him. But to sit here and do that where's your morals and integrity? Since we're talking about Shedeur so bad, then where would your morals and integrity be if that's the case?
Well, B-Watts, when people say that's not true, that they didn't want 12, they had something to prove to 12. That when you do collusion, when you have collusion, and I'll give you collusion on this one here. Cleveland has a lot of issues because they gave Deshaun Watson that guaranteed contract. So that's the first thing, that's the first problem they did with the league, because the league owners were upset with him for doing that, because he caused everybody issues. Because after Watson got it, everybody thought that they were going to get a guaranteed contract, and they colluded and they got together and said, this will never happen again. Not one of them would get a guaranteed contract. And what has happened when you deal with collusion? When you deal with that kind of collusion, you know what happens? When another team comes and say, hey, guys, we need to show him this here, the New York Giants, because all of this is on the New York Giants. This has nothing to do with this is the New York Giants. They came out and they wanted to prove something. And I'm like, hey, that's a problem. What I would say is this one here. They wanted to prove something. They proved their point, but you had teams out there. They were like, hey, Philadelphia getting ready to get him. It ain't just Philadelphia. I can guarantee you the Dallas Cowboys are getting ready to get him. It's to the point where you're like, hey, I don't listen to all that they didn't want. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And even if they wouldn't have drafted, you'd have had every team out there on the undrafted free agent telling me, hey, come to my we want you. We want to give you a try, because you can't put that kind of talent, especially when you're losers. You're losing teams. What are we talking about? New Orleans Saints, losers. Cleveland Browns, straight losers, gangster losers. Even the LA Raiders.
Why they didn't stop him though, Steve? Why they didn't get him?
No, you're not going to get them when you collude. Let's say again, collude. If billion. Look at, I'm going to give you a description of the NFL owners. They're old, they're white, and they're rich.
Yeah.
When you meet those three qualifications, that just lets you know to go. When you lived in the United States and they're old, when they're in their 70s and stuff like that, they lived during a time where where certain people didn't drink at the same faucet. So we don't understand. Other people don't understand that because they're young. They're like, "What are you talking about? We always drank at the same." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. The 60s. No, you didn't. You recently started getting this and stuff where you got fairness and stuff like that. So all I'm saying is this one here. Their mindset is different from their kids. Their kids played with everybody. Those
Right.
owners didn't. The owners owned it. They owned the plantation. Now the kids got to play with the people who they used to have on the plantation. So we can stop this mess. And when they get in their mind that they see a rich young man that they need to put him in his place because of his pappy, they did it. So I can stop it. Yeah, because of his pappy. That's what I said. And they did it. They colluded together just like they do anything else. Hey, why Kaepernick ain't in the NFL?
Right.
They didn't collude on that one too. He couldn't play. A young man that went to the Super Bowl, but now he can't play. Man, miss me with that crap. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to. I see chumps all the time in the NFL that can't. I saw the Buffalo Bills quarterback back up when got hurt. Couldn't even throw the ball 2 yards. Man, miss me. The New York Giants with their quarterback, that DeLeon, whatever that boy they had over that Dill Pip or whatever, couldn't throw the ball 5 yards. Miss me with that crap, man. Y'all accept that BS and let
Oh
folks tell
man.
y'all a narrative. I refuse to let you piss in my face and tell me it's rain. It's hot, it's wet. P Diddy doing it, and I ain't gonna accept it. Get out of my face with that, man.
Oh hell no, bro. Hell
That,
no.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what?
He say that nobody wanted him, so that further should show if nobody wanted him and they knew they didn't want him, why are y'all interviewing with him? What was the point of doing that if you knew you didn't want him?
True. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Man, this had nothing to do with his talent, nothing to do.
Right.
But at some point, just as a human, we can talk football, but this is still this young man's life too.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, I mean, what you gonna do? Hang him and whip him to death? Like what are you planning on doing? And how long should he sit there and endure when he know that you guys mean no good for him and basically you want to make him laugh and stop?
They got everybody in mind, Phyllis. You see the rest of them. You see Cam Ward. I'm just here to play football. It's all about football. They got him in line. They saying the company line. I done whooped him. I done whooped him good, and everybody else in line. They don't want you to. You ain't scratching when it don't itch, and you ain't laughing when it ain't funny. See, them kind of people, they don't like them. They don't like them. They don't like Malcolm. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
not
Malcolm.
one.
They don't like Malcolm. But with that being said, I'll tell you this here. 12 just needs to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
grinding
Yeah.
and keep being great, and he's
Yeah.
gonna be fine.
That's it. He just keep out there, keep working. He ain't complaining about nothing. He ain't said nothing. He just going out there and work. I think he's gonna beat all odds when it comes down to that
You see
quarterback
that
for the Cleveland Browns.
over there want him so bad. They just wait in the wind, just hoping and praying that they can get a Shedeur over there in the Canadian League.
Oh man. Golly.
They put him on this and stuff and put his face up there and everything.
Yeah.
But can you
Yeah.
imagine though? Check this out, B-Watch. Can you? And I tell folks, the NFL better be careful because if 12 goes over there with The Rock, where he goes and he a quarterback is his level, go over there with The Rock in the UFL and bring that kind of stardom over there and do the things that he can do. Because people need to remember, Jim Kelly did the same thing. Jim Kelly went to the played with the it wasn't the exit with the UFL or whatever they had, the Birmingham, for 1 year and made plenty of money and then went to the NFL. You just got to be careful because what'll happen is this. You get somebody competent like Shedeur Sanders where The Rock goes and says, well, I'm going to give you a little ownership or whatever the case may be with this company. And now you got other players coming in and say, hey, you guys can build this here. And instead of being treated the way the NFL treats you, you can come over here and be a human being. And the more talent you get in, it reminds me of the old Negro League. The old Negro League was the best league ever. They took all the great players and mixed them, and now you had nothing. But my point was, when you bring talented players together and you get those talented players and they put a product on the field, people are going to watch it. So the NFL better be careful, because if you treat people certain ways and they go in a different direction, they can change all of that money. Because can you imagine when you start seeing talent like that going to another company, and that company's like, all seats are cheaper. Not only is it cheaper, we're going to make it more affordable for you and your family, and you're seeing a quality product. Hey, I'm not going to the NFL because they got this slave mentality. I'm going somewhere where I can take my entire family and we can eat, and then the players are treated with respect. That's what I'll do. Back to you, B-Watch.
All right, folks and ladies, let's switch over. Appreciate y'all commentary on Shedeur Sunday. Let's switch over to talk about Colorado. Big 12 Media Day was today, and tomorrow, Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffalo, Jordan Seaton, K. Salter, Juju Lewis, DJ McKinnon, and Mata will be a part of the media. So what y'all thoughts on the Big 12 Media Day? Miss Phillips.
I'm I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Normally they don't do two quarterbacks for media day, so I like that little chess move that Coach Prime them did there. I'm excited. I want to hear what Coach Prime have to say, because he been, laying low lately. So I'm
Right.
looking forward to seeing what he's saying and what's his vision, or where he's standing with the team moving forward, or what they've been working on behind the scenes, as much as he probably could tell us at media day. But and I want to see Jordan Seaton and all of them what they have to say. But I kind of like this move with the two quarterbacks. If I'm not mistaken, that's kind of unusual for them to do two quarterbacks at media.
You ain't mistaken. Nowhere, only the Cleveland Browns would do something that. They would send 4 quarterbacks. So you ain't got the word. Them incompetent, I'm sticking with Cleveland. Them incompetent whippersnappers, they'll send 4. They'll send Deshaun. They'll send all 5. They'll send Deshaun up there
Yeah,
too.
no, man.
They'll send
No,
all
man.
5. So because they're incompetent. I'm going to keep it going. They're incompetent. If you want to talk about 12, I'm going to talk about you, you incompetent. Boy, I tell you. But let's say it this way, B-Watch. The only thing I would say is this one here. I thought it would have been a great opportunity to send Arden Walker, who was a Colorado
Yeah,
Buffalo. I
yeah,
thought, to me, that was the
yeah,
opportunity. He's going to be
yeah.
a team lead on defense. Arden, that's just me.
You
Arden
mean
should
to?
have been one of the ones. He's a
Yeah,
buff for life. That's the time to send that young man. I
right,
love Mata
Yeah,
and everything. Beautiful story, but he's not Arden Walker. He's
yeah,
not a guy that's potentially that's going to be NFL talent or
right,
anyone else. So those are the things that I look at. I look at big picture, saying, hey, because when you represent the University of Colorado, you want to have a story there that the people in Colorado can get around. And Arden Walker is one of their own. I ain't saying nothing about Juju's going to be one of their own because he's going to be there, the 3 or 4 years that he's going to be there. Seaton is one of their own. He's one. But Arden Walker is through daddy.
right.
Blood, that's generational. So I thought it'd been a great opportunity to send him up there. That's just me. I'm just one of those people saying, hey, that would have been a great opportunity. But Coach Prime is on point. One thing I will say is this here, B-Watch. It's awfully funny. Coach Prime tells people what his vision is, what his direction is, and everybody under the sun challenges him and questions everything he does. And this man has a winning record. Stefanski and them don't tell you nothing and lie to you and bury and it's incompetent. And the only one, G. Bush, the only one up there who's saying what's going on. Time out, what are we doing? Let's
Yeah,
question this here. Let's start asking some tough questions. We don't have
right,
to be critical all the time, but we should be able to ask tough questions. And we shouldn't have to listen to the company line and the company lie from Mary Kay, who should be selling her wonderful stuff in her pink Cadillac. But that's another story. Back to you, B.Y.
God, dog, boy. Let's rush show tonight. Thanks for the faded, boy. I tell y'all, I know that. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you about Arden Walker. I was shocked he wasn't on there because Coach Prime, like I said this morning, he rolled out the previous media players at Colorado. Them the same one. But Arden Walker was one of them that he rolled out first. Remember when the first person was Jordan Seaton, then the second person was Arden Walker, then the third group was Juju and Kate Salter. They was together. Then came DJ McKinney. So I thought he was getting them ready then so they can know how to carry themselves in the media. And I thought he gonna translate them all five up there. But when I saw Martin and then see Arden Walker, I thought the same thing that you saw. Yeah,
Could
I
it
did.
be a reason that maybe he was gonna be there, and maybe something behind the scenes we don't know about, maybe preventing him from being at the?
Yeah, yeah, it could have been. It could have been. But yeah, I still was looking. I was really looking for him on that because I think he still got a chance to wear that L on that defense the way
No,
the defensive coordinator talked highly of him. He
yeah,
talked highly of Arden Walker.
yeah.
Yeah. So looking at the 2025 season, when you look at man, Barnes done lost 40 pounds.
I know.
Jordan Seaton done lost 40 pounds. Jordan Seaton said he came in at 360. He down at 320, 310. Boy, Coach Swade's out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
He doing his thing. So when you look at that offensive line, though, when you look at Jordan Seaton, when you look at Xavier here, when you look at McGill or Yaya at that center, and you got that big fire hydrant, Zy Chrysler, you can go either way from the players that were there before or any player that brought in from the transfer portal at that right title, especially one from Tennessee. The offensive line should do their thing this year, y'all.
Yeah. I said it. I mean, they got some meat and potatoes now. It's just a matter of them just putting it all together. But I don't see us getting thrown around like no rag dolls. It ain't gonna be BYU ain't gonna do what they did to us.
Well, we gotta wait and see. I
No,
hope not.
that's something I bet some money on. I don't think they handle it like they.
I gotta wait and see. I'm like JR. I gotta wait and see, man. 'Cause,
Oh no,
boy,
show
I
me.
thought we were gonna do it last year.
Well, Jordan got another year under his belt and stuff. They
Yeah,
didn't. I got nightmares from that BYU game, but they didn't even try Shedeur. Because they already knew Shedeur know his stuff. They attacked his line and they deficiencies.
yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah, oh yeah.
and
And two guards.
even with Jordan
And
Seaton,
top.
some of
They
his
whoop,
stuff showed through
oh,
a little bit that he
oh yeah. They whooped on his tail too. Now I seen that. We were talking about it in the chat. I said, man, they whooping Jordan C. I said, what the world going on? But 9 times out of 10, anytime you can get your offensive line to run backwards instead of forward, you got a good chance of beating them. If they had that, kept handing that ball off, and let Jordan C crank up and just keep running behind him and get one of them guards to pull to go there behind him, yeah, they could have beat BYU if they really wanted to. They just kept throwing that ball around. If they had just stuck with that run, it wouldn't have been as bad as we saw it. I don't think. What you think, Uncle Steve?
What you had was this here, B. Watts. They were distracted, number one, because of the Heisman stuff that was going on, all the public appearances that they had going on. You also had Green, who didn't play, which was huge on our
Oh,
defense. When you have your linebacker that ran everything that didn't play. This
right,
reminds me of Jackson State. Their players didn't play when it
right.
came to those bowl games. So all I'm saying is this one here, and then you had Schumer. The play calling was atrocious. Let me put it this: the execution of the play calls was atrocious. I watched the young cat, the young rookie, come back there and got a first down. The young boy Micah ran for 13 yards on one play, and then he ran for 7 yards on the next play. Didn't touch the ball again. I just don't understand it. It's certain things I don't understand when it pertains to that team. Even if you're getting 1 yard, a good coach is going to say, we're going to get this 1 yard, especially when you got the defense that they got. We're going to keep getting this 1 yard. And when the third and fourth quarter comes, that's going to turn out to be 5 yards and 10 yards. You grind it out. And I just didn't think they didn't have the patience for that. So with that being said, they didn't have a snowball chance of to win that game against BYU. They were not ready for when BYU hit them in the mouth, it was over. Them boys for BYU hit them in the, and then they were running plays, them options that they had no clue. And that's why I say the linebacker group they put them linebackers in a position where they made them uncomfortable. They put them out wide and they had to make decisions. They were and then BYU missed a lot of plays where they had touchdowns and the quarterback overthrew them. Maybe he was thinking about some tail or something. But that's another story. But with that being said, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. But we need to. What I'll put it to you this way with the offensive line, Kay Salter is gonna make the offensive line a whole lot better because of his skill set. His skill set, you can't cheat with K-Salt. You can't bring everybody up because if you bring everybody up, you got speed to go over the top. They are going to have to play a common defense against K-Salt because if you come all the way up and one person miss a tackle, K-Salt going to the house. So he causes problems that Shedeur could never cause. And the next thing K-Salt is going to do is this one here. K-Salt is going to have it where you're not going to have all those 3 and outs. I can pretty much guarantee you, two had a lot of 3 and outs because it was like, hey, they went back there, they'll get a play, get a sack, and then you're these 3 and outs. And it was clunky. When you're running the football and you're doing some options and you're doing the RPOs, they're going to hit a lot of big plays. So they're going to move the ball, that clock is going to be going, and it's going to make it a whole lot smoother, and that defense is going to be rested. And now you're going to see with all of that depth and they're rested, you should be thumping people, man. Thumping. Back to you, B-Watch.
I agree with you 100%. I think they should run the table. If they come out and handle Georgia Tech like they should, it ain't going to be easy, but they can do it. They stop that big quarterback, stop Eric Rivers, that wide receiver, and stop that running back. Because Georgia Tech, they're going to run the ball. They ain't going to throw the ball. They're going to get behind the offensive line and challenge Colorado manhood. Can you do it for 4 quarters? You might can stop me for first and second quarter from running the ball. Can you stop me in the 4th quarter when there's 3 minutes left and the score is tied? That's what I'm really looking for. And I think they're going to have to rise up to the case. If they go out and handle business against Georgia Tech, the rest of the season, I think, going to go as a breeze. Go ahead, Ms. Smith.
Well, I'm confident. If we ain't see Livingston dial it up last year, he going to for sure dial it up this year. He going to dial it up like he never dialed it up before. And I'm confident. And I get to that game, it's going to show that he going to be ready for that running quarterback. I just believe Livingston been working all summer long to get what he gonna do. I think our defense is gonna be. I'm not worried about our defense. I just want to see our offense put it together. And I think like who is it, Leftwich and Falk. I think they're gonna be able to help Pat when he get over there and start making crazy, crazy calls and stuff. I think they're gonna be over there like Pat. They're gonna nudge him and let him know, let's do something different. So I think if we put it all together, I think we're gonna be hard to stop. And what Coach Swayze is doing as far as getting that stamina, that they gonna be well conditioned to go them 4 rounds.
I don't think they're going to have any problems with conditioning and things like that. The only thing I'm looking at is, are they committed? That's what's committed and what sacrifices are you willing to make? Are you willing to let your girlfriends know, hey, sweetheart, doing this here 4 months, I'm focused on this. All this getting on these iPods and YouTubes, that's done. It's focus time. I got to do this here because it's about this season. It's about me getting to that next level because Otis, Barnes, you're one in the nickel, those young men, McKinney and things like that, they should be looking at the league. And then K-Salt, they should be looking at the league. I got to be focused. I ain't worried about nothing. The noise is gone. I want the and the beautiful thing is this one here. that they don't have what Shedeur and Travis had. They hated Shedeur and Travis. When they went in those games against opponents, man, everybody got up with Colorado because they
Yeah.
wanted to knock their heads loose.
Yeah.
I don't think it's some teams
Yeah.
are gonna get up, and it's some teams are gonna get up for Colorado, but it's not gonna be how Dan Lannon got teams up. It's not gonna be like Kansas State got teams up. It's not like Kansas got teams up. It's not like BYU got their teams up. Man, those boys was like you talked about their mama or something. The way they came out there, man, they were like they came for blood. So you're not gonna have that. You know, it reminds me of the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, everybody got up for the Dallas Cowboys because it was everybody's Super Bowl. Colorado ain't everybody's Super Bowl this year because people don't respect them the way they did Travis and two.
Right.
It's a prove it now. So they're gonna come in there. They're gonna have teams that are gonna come at them, but you're gonna have an opportunity now. You should be more aggressive than they are aggressive with you. So back to you, B. Watts.
All right. Oh man, we don't want all our time. I appreciate y'all tonight watching Sports Talk with B. Watts along with Uncle Steve and our special guest, Miss Phyllis. She done an excellent job again. We appreciate her. I hate to knock her out 2 nights in a row, but a man had to do what a man had to do. Yeah, I'm 6-0 this week. Tomorrow morning I start again with Money Man. I'm sure I'll be 7-0, and later on in the week I'll get Greg said and knock him out. Oh yeah, my hat came in. Appreciate y'all for chipping in. I got my Cleveland Brown hat today from FedEx. I appreciate y'all. And I got my jersey, and I will be wearing it tomorrow. Once again, tune in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and also at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll go around the horn and say our end word. We'll start off with Miss Phyllis, and we ask Uncle Steve to end it for us tonight. Once again, appreciate your chat. Appreciate everything that y'all do for Sports Talk with B. Watts. Go ahead, Miss Phyllis.
Well, y'all have to excuse B. Watts. He didn't take his medicine, knocked me out. But neither here nor there. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, rocking with us as we, tread these waters that we tread with our number 12 and our Buffaloes. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time with Sports Talk with B. Watts.
Well, I will say this here after dealing with Sports Talk with Mitch Blood Green, because your eye looked like Mitch Green when Mike Tyson hit him in his eye. Miss Phyllis, you did a good job. You hit him in his eye. His eye said, I'm 6-0. I'm 7-0. I'm 7-0. But your eye don't look like it's 7-0. Your eye look like it's closed. So Mitch Blood Green, Miss Phyllis, you did your thing. You whooped his tail again, and he's still with that, I'm 7-0. I'm 7-0. But that's okay. Thank everybody for coming out, supporting Miss Phyllis. You held that seat down. JR better get back. JR better get back. That seat getting warm.
Yes, he did that time.
You did a fantastic job.
Yes, he did that time.
We love it.
Yes, he did that time.
And thank everybody for supporting Sports Talk with B. Watts. Y'all are fantastic. We appreciate you. And God bless you and have a great night. Out of here.
It's too much on my mind right now, baby, I don't need this. Lately, I've been by myself right now, I cannot take no risk. I've been looking at my jewelry, you may think that I'm a lick. Yeah, these people only try me cause they know I'm too legit. Yeah,
too legit to quit, the thought of losing make me sick. But it's a lot I'm dealing with, ain't breaking stride, I'm trying to win.
Sometimes you be acting strange, and right now I don't need this. I've been counting up this paper and just adding up these digits. Yeah, I know that you never thought that I'd be in this position. I'm gonna take you shopping at Dior, girl, you know I love Christmas.
Go ahead and get what you need, I'll take care of your expenses. I know what puts you at ease when you get you out of mind. I went out the country to get what you need.
Baby, you know this shit different, girl.
I knew I could do, I just had to believe.
Baby, I just need you.
I just keep it around me, I ain't see the greed.
Can't put you in that position.
I just can't put you in that position.
It's too much on my mind right now, baby, I don't need this. Lately, I've been by myself right now, I cannot take no risk. Looking at my jewelry, you might think that I'm a lick. Yeah, these people only try me cause they know I'm too legit, yeah.
Hey, Salo, they call me Buckified. They call me Buckified.
I'm not even gonna lie, you.
Buckified is what they call me in their champion. Look at that outfit. They call him Buckified Bird. I got inducted at the Hall of Fame in 2017 as a super fan. Well, you're gonna be the steal. The steal. You're gonna be the steal. This is the steal, baby. This is the steal. We stole Salo. Well, I'm telling you what, we stole it. They gonna regret that anything. I'm telling you what, can't nobody stop us. Back to back to back to back to back, and we're going to the Super Bowl. Can't nobody stop us. We got Salo. Shut down, lockdown, baby.
When I walk like this,
Shut down,
you know what time it is when I walk like this.
Shut down, lockdown, baby. Buckified.
You're a good man.